All right, today we're going on a pretty incredible journey, a visual tour deep inside the human body. Using these really stunning anatomical diagrams, we're going to explore the intricate, elegant, and, sometimes surprising systems that keep us all going. This is anatomy like you have never seen it before.
So, here's our roadmap. We're going to kick things off with the body's superhighways, then check out its master control network. After that, we'll uncover a silent guardian system, see how this whole thing is built from just a blueprint, and then finally, we'll look at anatomy in action when things, go wrong.
First up, the body's superhighways. Yeah, we're talking about the circulatory system, but as you're about to see, these vessels are engineered with some seriously clever features that go way beyond simple plumbing. Okay, so one of the body's key design principles for just staying safe and resilient is something called an anastomosis. Now, think of it like a built-in detour, right? A natural bypass route for your blood flow. It's an absolutely brilliant way to make sure you get a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients, even if the main road gets blocked.
And here it is, that whole concept in action. Just look at this intricate web of arteries around the elbow joint. So if you bend your arm really tight and maybe pinch off a main artery, these anastomoses make sure that blood can still find another way to your forearm and hand. It's redundancy at its absolute finest.
The body also has these specialized superhighways, like the hepatic portal system you see here. So instead of blood from your digestive organs going straight back to the heart, it takes this crucial detour through the liver, which is basically the body's quality control and processing center.
And we're not just talking about one vessel here. No, it's a convergence of major veins that are carrying all this nutrient-rich blood from the spleen, the intestines, the stomach. They all merge into what's called the portal vein, delivering everything you just ate for your liver to process, detoxify, and store before it ever enters your main circulation. Pretty smart, huh?
Okay, so we've talked about the plumbing, now let's get into the wiring. We're looking at the master control network, this unbelievably complex web of nerves that carries every single command, sensation, and signal in your body.
Just take a look at the brachioplexus. This is not a simple cable. This is a massive, interwoven junction box. Nerves that are exiting the spine get sorted, bundled, and totally reorganized right here before they head out to supply every muscle and every patch of skin in your entire arm and hand.
So how in the world do anatomists make sense of this beautiful mess? Well, they use a mnemonic. Risk takers don't cautiously behave. This little trick follows the path of the nerves as they form roots, merge into trunks, split into divisions, recombine into cords, and then finally send out all the terminal branches.
Next, let's explore a system that really doesn't get as much attention as it should, but it is absolutely vital. It's the body's silent guardian, a network that's working constantly in the background to clean up and protect us.
And this brings up a great question. We all know about blood, right? But it's not the only fluid that circulates through an extensive network of vessels. So, have you ever heard of the other one?
It's the lymphatic system. This huge parallel network collects all the excess fluid from our tissues, and it acts as our primary surveillance and security system. And as these diagrams show, it's super organized, with fluid draining towards specific regional hubs, like from the lower body all the way up towards the lymph nodes in the groin.
So, we've seen all these complex, established systems. But how do they get built in the first place? Let's take a step back and watch how an incredibly complex body is constructed from, believe it or not, a simple cellular blueprint.
It all kicks off with a process called gastrulation. This is where an early, two-layered disc of cells completely reorganizes itself into three fundamental layers: the ectoderm, which is going to form skin and nerves, the endoderm for our internal linings, and the mesoderm for basically everything in between, like muscle and bone. Every single part of you comes from one of these three layers.
From there, it's like anatomical origami begins. Take neurulation, for example. A flat sheet of cells first thickens up, then it folds inward on itself, and finally, it literally zips up to create the hollow neural tube. This simple tube is the very, very beginning of your entire brain and spinal cord. It's an absolutely mind-blowing process.
This just goes to show you how precise these developmental steps have to be. If one small part of the pancreas fails to rotate in just the right way, it can result in a ring of tissue that encircles the small intestine. It's a rare condition called an annular pancreas. It's a fascinating look into what happens when the blueprint is followed just a tiny bit differently.
Okay, in our final section, let's connect all this abstract anatomy to our everyday health. I mean, why does knowing the precise location of a nerve or a bone actually matter?
Well, this slide is a perfect illustration. The common peroneal nerve, which you can see on the left, wraps right around the head of the fibula bone just below the knee. It's really close to the surface, not a lot of padding there. So a direct blow or even just prolonged pressure can damage it, leading to the foot drop you see on the right, basically an inability to lift the foot. It's a perfect example of cause and effect.
Here's another one. If you fall onto the back of your flexed wrist, you can get this very specific type of break called a Smith's fracture. Knowing the anatomy and the mechanism of injury allows a doctor to look at an X-ray and immediately know what happened and how to fix it. This is anatomy in action.
So, as we've seen on this quick tour, our anatomy isn't just some random collection of parts. From the backup vessels in our elbow to the precise folding of the neural tube, it's an interconnected story that's been written over millions of years of evolution.
It really is a story of resilience, of complexity, and incredible elegance. And as the philosopher Wittgenstein suggested, understanding this design gives us a much deeper appreciation not just for the machine, but for the life that it carries.
And honestly, we've only scratched the surface. As you're sitting here right now, countless networks are firing, fluids are flowing, and all these systems are working in perfect harmony, which just makes you wonder, what other marvels are hiding just beneath the surface?